to another episode of Big Ego Media. I've got a special guest goes by the name of Annalisa. How you doing today?
I'm good, thank you.
You good?
I'm good, thanks.
Nervous?
Nervous.
Nothing to be nervous about. Nothing to be nervous about. So you're someone that's been all over the internet of late in the last couple of months or so. We'll get through that, but at the beginning, as we always do with our podcast, is we want to get to know the person, who you are, and what your story is before all the controversy. So, where did you grow up and where you from?
So I grew up in Croydon in Thornton Heath. So that's where I'm originally from. Grew up in Croydon, Thornton Heath. Maybe when I was about 22, because I'm 38 now. So maybe when I was about 22, moved to Woolwich, and I've been in that area, like Greenwich, ever since.
Okay, let's talk about Thornton Heath and growing up. So, what's your family background?
So I'm from Ghana.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm from Ghana. Yeah.
What's your tribe?
So I'm Fanti.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm Fanti. My family are Fanti background. So I'm from there, and they're originally from Cape Coast in Ghana.
Okay.
So I used to go there like every year when I was a child. I'd go there on a holiday every year. So
Okay. So in your household, did you grow up with both your parents, siblings?
So I grew up with two of my brothers and my stepdad and my mum. So my mum got with my stepdad, like married him when I was about 4.
Okay.
So yeah, that's who I grew up with.
You're the oldest?
I'm the oldest, yeah.
Do you know much about your dad?
Yeah. So I know him, his family and stuff. They're in my life. They're from London as well.
Has it always played a part in your life?
He could have been better. So he hasn't really, but his mum and his sister.
Yeah.
So like my auntie and my grandma. So his family have.
Okay.
Yeah, that one they have.
Yeah.
They played a part in my life. Even my 2 little brothers, even though so the kind of relationship I have with my dad's family, they always used to come over to my mum's house. That never stopped because my mum wasn't with my dad. They would come almost every week.
Yeah.
So my grandma, my auntie, dad's mum and dad's auntie would still come visit me every week at my mum's house, whether I'm there or whether I'm not there, if that makes sense. They had a relationship with my mum. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So his family's always been in my life. Like,
okay, talk us through kind of school then. Was you top set, middle? Did you struggle a little bit? How was you in school?
So in school, you know what it was? When I was about 5, 6, I remember the school is something we was talking about. Call my mum. Remember ADHD and autism and those kind of things. It was different when we was young. Mm-hmm. So it wasn't something like now. It's just like, they just say, you've got ADHD or autism or whatever. It would show up in us in different ways. So I remember when I was about 5, they called my mum and was like, I was always laughing a lot. I was always daydreaming a lot. My attention span was off. And at the time they said, they didn't call it like ADHD. I remember they said, they wanted to get me like support or see what's going on because my attention span's always off. I'm always laughing like uncontrollably and things like that. And she was just like, no. I remember she was just like, no.
As an African parent.
Yeah, she was just like, no. I remember I was young, but I have a vivid memory of a lot of things. I remember she called like all my aunties and was just like, they called me and said, Annalisa keeps laughing a lot. She's always laughing a lot. She's always daydreaming. But it was just like a straight no. And that was it. So I feel like at school, my attention span was always off. When I got to secondary school, I was quite naughty. Got to a point I was in a detention every single week, like all the way up until year 11, or every single week. Or I'd be getting like suspended from school. I would say like as a teenager, I know I was a very difficult teenager.
Yeah.
So I was a very difficult teenager.
And was you actually professionally diagnosed with ADHD?
As an adult.
Okay. Yeah.
So it wasn't until I was an adult, quite late as well. I think I was about 33.
Okay.
Yeah, I was about 33.
What made you want to get yourself assessed at the time?
So it wasn't actually me. So what happened was my youngest son, he's got autism and they diagnosed him very early. Like during lockdown, he was diagnosed.
Yeah.
What happened was when he was born with a low birth weight. So he was born. I don't know if you know much about babies or having babies, but he was born just past the premature mark, if that makes sense. So I think anything below 36 weeks is classed as premature.
Yeah.
Anything 36 to 40, whatever, is normal. 42 is normal. So he was born, but he wasn't born naturally. They had to induce me because I had a lot of problems during the pregnancy.
Yeah.
I spent the last 6 weeks in hospital during that pregnancy, like in hospital all the time.
Yeah.
Like I wasn't allowed to go nowhere because he wasn't growing. So he was born at a low birth weight. So fast forward, like I went back to work maybe 9 months, when he was 9 months.
Yeah.
He was born at a low birth weight. I remember him being like 3 months old, and I remember people would come up to me when I was out with him. 4 months old, people would come up to me when I'm out with him and say, "Oh, how many days old is he?" You know, when you're just like, "Oh, he's like 4 months." Yeah. And it's like, "Oh my God, he's tiny. He's really, really tiny," because he was like a newborn at like 4 months, because he was really small. So it got to like, he was actually thriving normally. And then it got to like we went into, no, it was just before lockdown. It's like he started to go backwards.
Yeah.
So he wasn't really making any noises like babies do. He was quite quiet. He wouldn't make any eye contact with anybody. Like he wouldn't acknowledge. So imagine you live in the house of siblings, but you wouldn't acknowledge any of your siblings. Like they would say hello to you, you walk straight past them, you won't even look at them. So it was the school as well that was like, "Oh, we think he might have," it was a nursery that he went to that said, "Oh, they think he might have like autism or something." The doctors initially said, "Oh, because he was born at a low birth weight, he might just be a bit behind." But anyway, he was referred to CAMS.
Okay.
And they were seeing him all throughout lockdown. The health visitors wasn't stuff. Then he got his diagnosis. So during that period, there was a lot of people involved, like professionals. It was like speech and language every week. It was like so it was like speak and language every week. It was music therapy. There was the CAMS, mental health. The nursery was involved. There were so many different professionals, and we'd have like all these like meetings around him because he's now classed as a child with special needs, right? And they actually noticed it. So they was like, "Oh, like they're the ones that brought it up. Your attention span's off. Do you sleep well?" They started to ask me questions. How was I during my pregnancy? Do I sleep well? What's my concentration like? They're the ones that noticed it. Does that make sense? They noticed it because they started to ask about my other children as well. Like, do my other children have it? "Oh, no, they're fine." "What about you?" "Oh, no, I'm fine." Like, and they're the ones that kind of noticed it and thought, "Oh, we think you might have like some sort of ADHD or autism." So that's how it kind of went.
I mean, as a mother, when you kind of heard that yourself, how did that make you feel, hearing that about your child?
So,
or was it something you was kind of aware of, just you was waiting for it to be confirmed? Kind of?
I was aware of it because he was different to my other 2 children. Like, he was different to my other 2 children. My first one was kind of like the same. They thought he had ADHD, but he didn't get a diagnosis. He was about 6, 7, and everything just went to normal. Does that make sense? My second one, he was like really smart from early. So this is the thing, I'm aware that children are different. I think a lot of parents think, "Oh, all children have to be the same," and we do have these margins and milestones that they all have to meet in it. So it's kind of like, for me, my second child was really advanced. Like, he was really independent. He was talking, reading, everything, like by the age of 1. Like, I remember like my mum was able to travel with him to like Africa, and he was only 1. He was able to go with her. Like, my other kids couldn't do that. Do you know what I mean? At 1, like, just leave and go, and like, he was really independent. So when I had my last son, it was just like, "Oh, this is different." Like, really different. Like, it's not, because my first son was very like hyper and everywhere. But the little one, he was more reverse. So he was very quiet. He wouldn't make any eye contact. He wouldn't even speak. Like, you know, he would just like laugh and play around, and he'd play by himself. If anyone comes near him, he doesn't like touch anything. So I noticed it quite early. So I was just kind of waiting to get the diagnosis, if that makes sense.
I mean, let's go back kind of again to your childhood. So you say in school you're just gonna kind of get suspended and so on.
Yeah.
How was the discipline at home? Was your parents strict at the time, or they just couldn't handle you?
So, my mum's from Ghana, but my stepdad was white.
Okay.
So he's like English. So I would say the culture thing was a little bit different. I think my household wasn't like straightforward like African. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So I feel like the discipline was just my mum just shouting. That's what she used to do. She just used to shout. And I never used to listen to her. So she would just shout.
You never got
like,
beats?
Not really.
Yeah.
A little bit. I did get beats a little bit, but not really.
Yeah.
Like it got to a point I was like 16. Do you know what I mean? You can't beat me because I'm 16 now. I'll just leave. Like, and I was doing that a lot. I was running off quite a lot. Like just going, leaving the house for weeks and weeks. And to be honest, he didn't really get involved in any discipline.
Yeah.
So he didn't really get involved. Like,
I mean, when you ran away from home, like where would you go to? Friends' house,
friends'
boyfriend's
houses.
house?
Yeah, it would be like friends' houses. I'd go and stay at friends' houses and things like that. Yeah.
And going back into your youth, what is it that you actually wanted to do as a kid? You know, some kids might be, I want to be a fireman, I want to be a pilot. What did you want to be?
So I wanted to be a nurse. So I actually went to university. So I went college.
Yeah.
I went Croydon. I went John Ruskin first. Then I got kicked out after first year because I was everywhere. So I got kicked out after the first year. Then I went to do my first year again at Croydon College.
Yeah.
I completely dropped A levels and I went to do like a diploma and something else at college.
Yeah.
First year, second year, and then the third year I went to university and I did my first year in adult nursing.
Okay.
But I hated it. So then I changed after year one. I changed and I did criminology. Yeah, I did criminology. I did my degree in criminology. Yeah, and I graduated with that.
Okay. So how old was you when you had your first son?
I was 23. 22.
22.
Yeah.
And how did that change you as a person?
Do you know what? Yeah, it was very difficult. Like, I come from the time where, you know now when I look at the 21, 22-year-olds now, I actually like them. They're all very like stable. They all wait and plan things. You know, they're in that era where they travel a lot. Like they do themselves up. But I feel like my time was very different. I feel like that's what everyone was kind of on. All the women my age, they all had babies or they all had children. So it was kind of like the norm. In my circle, I was like the last one basically to have a child. So it was kind of like the norm. And, you know, I had no idea what having a baby was. I'm not going to lie. I think I was probably immature and naive.
Yeah.
Like I thought, oh, having a baby means dressing up in designer or, you know, like it was hard work having my first baby. I wasn't ready. You know, I wasn't ready. Now, when I look back, I know I wasn't ready. Like babies cry, they get sick. Like some babies, you know, it's not like in the movies. Remember, rich people, they're able to get nannies.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're able to have nannies. They're able to have all this support. So they look great. You know what I mean? They look great. They have an easy life. But when you're a normal person, just in London, like, if you're not lucky, like me, my babies never slept.
Yeah.
So my babies would be up. And my son still does it. He's 7. He will wake up constantly during the night.
Yeah.
You know, I was running on empty when I had my first child. Like, running on empty. It was very difficult. I'm not going to lie. So it took a long time for me to be able to regulate.
So yeah, you're just talking about there in regards to how hard it was.
Yeah, it was difficult. I wasn't ready.
Did the child's father play any part? Did he help out?
Well, on social media right now, I'm the woman with test tube babies. So we'll leave it like that.
Enlighten me.
So basically, I went on a show and they asked me and I said, oh, I don't actually have a baby father. I basically did IVF and I chose the babies that I wanted. So
is that because the fathers haven't been to play the part, or let's start again. Is that because the father hasn't played a part or not been involved, or did you genuinely do that?
I genuinely did that.
Really?
Yeah.
Why did you decide to do that?
I just wanted babies. I'm gonna do it again and I'm gonna blog it. I said I'm gonna do it again in January and I'm actually gonna blog it this time because.
All right, let's break this down because this is something new to me. I mean, so 3 of your children, you decided to do IVF, or was it just the first child?
All three of them.
You talked about how difficult it was with your first child. What made you said, or you just love being a mum?
Do you know what it was? I wanted 2 kids close together in age.
Yeah.
And then the third time, I just wanted a baby. Now I know that I actually want to have a daughter.
Yeah.
So I'm going to do it again in January. I'm going to go to Spain because it's illegal here. And I'm going to choose the sex of the baby. And I'm going to do it. Because right now I'm 38. I'm single. I don't have much time left to be, I'm going to wait. I'm going to meet someone. So I'm just going to do it again. And I'm going to choose a sex. And I'm going to have a daughter.
But why do you feel that you can't meet someone, be in a loving relationship, and have that child?
Because right now I'm 38, so like, when am I going to meet someone? Do you know what I mean?
I mean, I guess, let's go back then. Over time, from when you was kind of 22 after your first child, even before you had your first child, did you never ever want to be in a kind of loving relationship to have a child?
You know what it is? I've been in relationships, but they just haven't worked out. Yeah. And that's not to say all the relationships I'll get in hasn't worked out, won't ever work out. But right now, I feel like I'm 38.
Yeah.
So I don't have time to, especially like in terms of giving birth, like ideally women should give birth before the age of 40, right?
Yeah.
So in the situation that I'm in right now, it would make sense for me to do that. Do you know what I mean? Because if I have to wait and then meet somebody and I feel like dating right now in 2025 is very difficult. Yeah, it's not an easy thing. I think for those people that have been in long-term relationships with someone and are married and stuff, it's different. You guys already have that relationship with somebody, but for somebody who's kind of like not in a relationship, hasn't been in a long-term relationship for like years, like it's a bit difficult, especially when you've got children, to be dating and starting again.
But you want to add another child to the mix as well, so it would admit.
Yeah, I want to add another child to the mix, but not another man.
I mean, people complain about fathers who are absent fathers, but you're saying basically, I don't mind being a single mum. I don't need a father because this is what I want to do. I want to be a mother. What do you think it is about you that just wants to be a mother?
Do you know what I always say? This sounds really silly, but if I had my first child and it was a girl, I wouldn't have had any more kids. I think I just wanted to have a daughter. Okay. And obviously it's 3 boys. Yeah, I love them very much, but I really want to have a daughter.
Why do you think you want to have a daughter? Because I think you said you got 2 brothers, right?
2 brothers. Yeah.
And you was the only girl. Was it something about that? You had 2 younger siblings that were boys, or what is it about that made you want to have a girl?
I think from young, I've always just wanted to have a daughter.
Is it from childhood, like playing with dolls and stuff like that, maybe?
No, maybe older, like from teenage years, older. Yeah. It was always like, I would like to have a daughter. I would like to have a daughter. Maybe it's because I don't have sisters, but it's something I always wanted. I always said, if I had a daughter first, I wouldn't have had any more children. Yeah. Like, it would have just been one daughter and that's it. Yeah. But I didn't. And this time I really do. So, yeah, I'm just going to choose the sex and just do it. But I don't know the reason why I really want a daughter. That's a good question, actually.
I mean, talk us through also this procedure in Spain. How does it work? So you can actually choose the gender. I didn't realize you could choose the gender now.
You can more than choose the gender. If you have the money to, you can choose the eye color, the hair color, but obviously it's illegal here. You can do IVF here, but you can't choose the sex. Okay. You can't choose the hair color, eye color. It's only in like Spain and I think like Brazil. Okay. And some parts of America that you're able to do all that. But yeah, it's illegal here. The only thing they'll allow you to do here is IVF, and even that you can't choose the sex. Okay. So in Spain, obviously you'll go out there, they will obviously check all your health. You'll go with your medical records, so you'll check all your health. You'll go out there, and I'm not sure the sperm process, what they do, but from my understanding, they do something that takes away the XY or something. Yeah. And XX, and then they just insert it like normal way they do IVF into your egg. Yeah.
I mean, also with that, to bring it back to around, and forgive me if what I'm saying is wrong here, do you ever think about, because you don't know whose sperms these are that might have an effect on your children and some of the health conditions they may have?
No, because they have all that information.
Okay,
and you can choose as well. So this is the thing. There are some people, like celebrities, for example, they do it. And I know someone personally as well who did IVF, and they do it. Sometimes they might say, for example, I don't want a black sperm, I want a Caucasian sperm.
Yeah.
And there's backgrounds, like now they do like background checks and stuff. So if this person comes from a line of mental health, or now you can even have access to, because before you couldn't have access to who is the donor, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But now you can.
Okay.
Now you can, and the child or the man does have right to find out who his children or are. If that makes sense. Yeah.
No, I totally hear that.
Yeah.
So you left Thornton Heath. We're going back again. You left Thornton Heath and you moved to Greenwich. Is that because you had your baby at the time? What made you move from?
No, so do you know what it was? I moved to Greenwich before I had children, because I was living with my mum.
Yeah.
So she actually moved from Thornton Heath, and we moved to Kent for a little bit because I was really naughty in college, like really naughty. So she wanted to take me out of Croydon.
I mean, let's not skip through that. Yeah. What do you mean by really naughty? What was you doing? Fights? What was happening?
Yeah, everything. I just wasn't staying at home. I was in with a bad crowd. I was in with a bad crowd, both male and female. I was doing things girls shouldn't be doing, So I was just everywhere. She wanted to move me away and move my brothers away, because my brothers were behind me, but they were growing as well, and she didn't want them to go into gangs and all that part. So she moved to Kent.
Yeah.
Because she thought it was a great idea. But what happened was, you moved to Kent, as you know, with children, you can start a new crowd.
Yeah.
And all the parents were doing at that time, during that period that she moved to Kent, she thought, there'll be less black people, it'll be just white people, she'll have to stay at home, or whatever it is she was thinking, her idea behind moving to Gillingham.
Yeah.
But we got there, and that was the period where a lot of people were moving out to Gillingham.
Yeah.
So I was moving with a lot of the Peckham kids at that age, and we just started again down there. So there was no point her really moving, because with children it doesn't matter where you go, it's up to the child, isn't it?
Yeah.
So she ended up moving back to Greenwich maybe 3 years after we moved to Kent, and I've just stayed there ever since.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, you talked about how you used to behave as a teenager and things you got up to. How do you now navigate that with your children?
Do you know what? They're completely different to me.
Yeah.
Completely. I was actually talking about it with my mum the other day. They're completely different. I mean, don't get me wrong, they have their naughty moments, but for the most part, they just listen to me. They just listen. So if we say anything to them, they just listen. I don't smack my kids or hit my kids. I talk to them. For the most part, they listen. The big two, I think 13 and 16, those ages, they just listen. They're like little adults. So you talk to them, you communicate with them. I think with kids, as long as you reason, talk with them, understand with them, they should understand with you, should I say. I think it's fine. But I feel like my youngest, I don't know if it's because of the autism, but he's hard work.
Yeah.
So he's hard work,
Do you get much support with him?
Not really. Mainly just with the school.
Yeah.
Mainly just with the school.
What about family? Is your mum still quite far away?
No, she lives local, but he's really attached, so he doesn't really go anywhere.
Yeah.
Part of his is familiarity with surroundings. So even if we do go to his house, after 2 hours, he'll be like, I want to go home.
Yeah.
Yeah, home time. So he has to be in his own surroundings. So he doesn't really, there's not much family support with him. Because of that, he's always with me.
Yeah. So I mean, let's talk about now 2025. So you've been living your life as a mother, looking after your children, going out, partying, whatever, and all of a sudden, in the last few months, you've been all over social media. And funnily enough, I think before you even went all over social media, I was actually meant to do a show with you originally, but it just didn't materialize because I was so busy at the time.
Of course.
But after that, everyone seems to know. Annie, I mean, speak to us in regards to your first kind of social media adventures, basically.
Yeah, so actually, you're one of the first people I was supposed to work with.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it didn't fall through. But I think the first thing I ever did was facts only. So I did facts only with Kid and Chinks and Benji and Papa Hans. So they've got their facts only podcast. So I did that. And I remember when I was on that, me and Chinks were talking and he was like, why don't you get into podcasts? Big up Chinks. Yeah, he was like, why don't you get into podcasts and do social media? And I remember saying, oh no, I don't think so. What would I do? Like, do you know what I mean? But it was really nice doing the podcast with them because all four of them, they're nice guys. Like, it was really nice. I had a great time. So he was the first one. And then I worked with China. So big up China as well. I did Pop the Balloon with him. I did both the Pop the Balloons with him. So I did Pop the Balloon with him.
I mean, when you went on these shows originally, didn't you? Because someone might not be on social media and all of a sudden you're doing social media regularly. Was you nervous at the time when you was doing it? Or you said, no, I
still am.
This. Yeah, okay. Yeah.
I still am. And I feel like I still am. And I feel like everything is different. So everything is different. So everywhere that you go or the people that you work with is different.
Yeah.
So when you're working with different people, sometimes they might get a different side to you. So what I do get a lot now on social media will be like, oh, but you weren't like this on RTM, or I didn't see you like this on Pop the Balloon, or I didn't see you like this, or why are you acting like this now? And it's like, this is how I always am. But in different environments, you behave different. Does that make sense? So I still am nervous now when I do content. It's not.
I hear it. Yeah. And then after that, I think you done Sinners.
Yeah. So I did Pop the Balloon. I also did work with another podcaster, Creeper Crisis. Yeah. And Justo, we did Hot Seat. So we did Hot Seat, and then I did the Sinners live show, and then I did RTM. Yeah.
So and you met Spray through doing the Sinners podcast.
Yeah. So I did the Sinners live dating show with them, and I met Young Spray there. Yeah.
And then you was on RTM for a brief period. I mean, just talk us through the initial stages of being on RTM. How was it for you at the beginning?
So Spray invited me on the show. I'll be honest, because remember, I'm new to social media. I didn't realize how big RTM was. And I am a little slow. When people say, they say, oh yeah, you're blonde or you're slow. I am a little slow. So when people invite me somewhere, I don't usually do background check. Obviously, I'd seen Spray and Cream and Miss Gucci having viral moments and Chronic. Yeah. Like, I'll be honest, I wasn't even aware, even though big up Pinky, he's my friend now. I didn't even realize Pinky was on the show. Yeah. Like, it was just Spray. I was familiar with Gucci, Chronic, because what I would see is viral moments. Does that make sense? Any podcast. So I've never watched like Facts Only. I've never watched RTM. I've never watched Hot Seat. Like, sorry, I know they're probably going to be like, what? Like, but even when I go on there and they send me the videos and the clips after, I don't actually watch it. Like, I don't watch it. I'll just be like, oh yeah, it was good. But I don't watch it because a lot of them are long. Yeah. Anything over my attention spans. So anything like over an hour, I can't sit down and watch it.
So you don't know watch this one then, I guess.
I watch the clips though. Yeah, I watch bits and pieces of it though. I'm totally honest. I have to be honest and let everyone, because they'll be like, didn't you watch it or didn't you? No, I didn't. Yeah. Right. So this is the thing.
Is that also to do just because it's long and your attention span, or is it also like you don't want to, you might look back and cringe at certain things you might have said or not?
I'll definitely look back and cringe because like when you're on these shows, what happens is sometimes things don't go viral or don't go mad on the internet until months after. So I was on RTM ages ago. That's how I feel, even though it might only be last month or 6 weeks or whatever. Yeah. And there was one episode I think we did with Chronic. It might be the first one I ever did. No, it was the first one I ever did. I did Boys versus Girls actually, where I met everyone, Gucci and everyone. I like everyone. So I did that one, and obviously all the clips came out. They had their viral moments, whatever. It all came out. And now it's been months. And I just saw this week, I woke up and loads of people were sending me one clip. I saw it's got like over like 100k views on TikTok from 2 months ago, where me and Chronic are having a conversation, and he says, how many abortions have you had, Annie, or something like that? And I went 27, and it got clipped right there when I said 27, and it's gone mad on TikTok, like just this week. And
was you bantering?
Yeah. So we joked straight after that, because I had to go back on YouTube and find it and be like, when was this? I don't even remember this conversation. I had to go back and be like, when did me and Chronic banter like this? I don't remember this conversation. I don't remember me telling him I had 27. But when I watched it back, Spray actually says, you had 27 abortions. And I went, I'm joking. But they didn't clip it there. They clipped it at me saying 27.
Okay.
Yeah. So I was on TikTok doing a live, and like people were in the comment section saying 27, 27, 27, 20. I could see it, 27, 27. I was, huh? What's 27? Like, and there was a 27 abortions, 27 abortions. I was like, what? But then I saw, so when it's things like that, I would definitely cringe, because that's all over social media now. Do you understand? And they've clipped it right then. Some people are like me. They don't watch content. So they're going to see that clip and be like, this girl's mad. Like, why would she say that? Or and obviously in the comment section, that's what it looked like as well. It was like, oh, she's mad. Why would you even say that? Why would you put it out there? But yeah, it's those kind of things. It is cringy, I'm not gonna lie.
How do you kind of navigate then? Because your son is 16, they're 16, yeah, and he's at that age where they're all over TikTok and social media and so on, especially going into college. How do you kind of navigate him witnessing these things, and do you guys have conversations about, oh, you might see this on social media, but
do you know what it is? One thing I've realised is there's different algorithms. Is it algorithms? I don't know how to say algorithms. There's different ones. So they're not in this one. They don't know any of the content that I've done. They haven't seen any of it online. They don't know about it. The only idea they might get is if we go out, and sometimes we go some places and people might be like, oh, are you Annie? Yeah, and they'll even ask me like, who's Annie? Why are they calling you Annie? Like, do you know what I mean? Like, they're not aware of, they're in a different algorithm. They don't know. Like my son, he's 16, and his friends and stuff, they don't know about like the Pop the Balloon or Facts Only or RTM or Sinners. They don't know. It's a different.
But they get to a point where they would.
I think eventually they might know, or they might see, and then that just might be a conversation we have. Like, they know I do content.
It just takes a friend
to say, oh, I saw your mum. Yeah. Exactly. So, but they know I do content though. I'll tell them, like, you know, oh, I went to film this today while you were at school. Or, oh, I went to do this today. Do you know what I mean? Like, I talk to them, so they know I do content, but I don't think they're aware right now which one, or what I'm doing.
I mean, back from I guess RTM, you made a close friend in Pinky. How's that relationship kind of blossomed?
Yeah, like, he's my friend. We get on very well. Like, we speak every day and things like that. We do argue sometimes. I do get onto him as well sometimes. Like, but yeah, like, he's my friend. Like, obviously, Young Spray brought me to RTM. I met Chronic, who's also really nice. I met Pinky. Like, but yeah, we just kind of like made friends. Yeah.
We became friends,
Yeah.
So I guess there was also the fallout of you leaving RTM. We don't dwell too much on that, but like, how do you feel about that now, like a few weeks later? Because there's a point where you and Gucci was going back and forth and so on online all the time about RTM. But now that the dust has settled a little bit, how do you feel about your experience being on that show and the aftermath since?
Do you know what? Yeah, I'm happy that I had the opportunity to be on RTM. So I am grateful for meeting Spray. And being cool. You know what? Off camera, he was actually cool. Like, off camera, Spray was actually cool. He was actually cool. And you know what? I realized sometimes, when people are speaking to you or dealing with you, because of the way they speak to you or deal with you, it's like a child, right? You're not going to listen. When a child is being told something by their parents, sometimes it's like, you're not going to listen. You know, sometimes they say when you deal with children a certain way, like sometimes because of the way Spray's character is and the way that he speaks, I'm just thinking, oh, this man's rude. You understand? Like, this man's rude, or he's chatting shit. Why is he going on like that? But now there's a lot of things that he said and I can see it. So that I will say, even though me and him are not cool anymore and whatever, he's gone his way, I've gone my way. Like, there's a lot of things that he was right about. There's a lot of things that he was right about. You know, there's a lot of things that he would say which is true, you know, both him and Chronic. But sometimes the way that it is, you know, when you're heated or you have arguments and stuff and there's other people involved, it can kind of be like, I don't know, I can't explain it.
Would you ever go back? So invited you, come on the show episode.
Well, me and Spray don't talk anymore.
No, but if he DM'd you, say, you know what, Annie, you know what.
Remember, I was telling you, I don't feel like content. You know what it is as well. The algorithms is different.
Yeah.
So it's a different world that I've walked into. So obviously, before doing content, you know, we have our different crowds that we move around with. And I was, even though I'm not Nigerian, in the last couple of years, I've been in the Nigerian community a lot. Like a lot of my friends are Nigerian. We'll go to Nigerian events and go to Nigerian gatherings and go to Hyatt and Eden and all those Nigerian spots. And those spots, when you go there and you mix with the men from there, they're very welcoming. They're very nice. They're very respectful. They like you. Do you know what I mean? Like you're just welcome. And prior to that, I was running around a lot with the Congolese community. They're the same. Yeah, they're the same as well. Do you understand? You get there, the men and women. They're very like respectful. They're very, you know, they like you. You're welcomed. I feel like this social media algorithm that I'm stuck on with all this TikTok and, you know, the people, the fan base, I'm not sure I really like it, to be honest.
How do you change?
Has it changed me?
How do you change from that then? How do you escape that?
I would have to just leave it. I'd have to chill on the TikToks with Pinky and Justo. Sorry. Sorry, guys, but that's what it is. I need to come off that algorithm, move away from you guys. I'll still be your brethren, but move away from you guys. I don't really like the algorithm I'm on. Like, you know, it's a weird place that I'm in, you know. I've never experienced any racism or colorism or anything until I've been in this place. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like the things people say, like I saw a panel of people. I actually have it on my phone. Someone sent it to me today. They clipped it and there was like a panel of like light-skinned girls and one black guy that is one of Pinky's friends or whatever. And they were there like, they were just dissing me and they were making like racial comments. It's like all you girls on the panel are mixed race. Like you're making racial slurs and saying things about me and, you know, going mad. And it's like, it's a different place. I've never experienced that.
How do you deal with that on an emotional sense? Because we could all be sensitive to comments and videos or things that people are targeting us. Does it affect you a lot, or how do you kind of brush it aside and just get on with your everyday life?
Not gonna lie, I think when I first started, because obviously I'm new to social media as well, that's another thing. I don't have like spaces, I don't have Twitter, I don't have like, I've got Instagram. So I've got Instagram and I've got TikTok, but I'd never really used it, never really did any lives, anything like that. So it's something, TikTok's a tool that actually Pinky and Justo kind of got me into. I never used to actually use it at all. So now that I'm in there, there has been times that I've got into fights online and arguments. Should I say not fights, arguments? I've got into proper arguments where they diss me, I'm dissing them. And it goes on for days and days. But now I'm in a space where like, no, let me just ignore them because I don't know any of them. I've never met them in real life. So why am I giving so much energy to people that don't know me? That have only seen me on a show and made an assumption of me, that maybe don't like black women, so they feel like they can come and say things, or do you know what I mean? So it's like, I don't know any of you. In real life, I wouldn't mix with any of you. You're not really my type of people. So now I'm just ignoring. That's what I'm doing. I just ignore them. There's no point doing up argument with them or like going back and forth with them, because in real life I wouldn't even mix with you guys, you know. So
no, I hear it. So what do you do for work then?
So I've been a probation officer for the last 7 years. So since like 2017, I've been a probation service officer.
Enjoy it?
I did, but not anymore.
What's changed?
Long hours, a lot of work, a lot of paperwork, and it's repetitive as well. So it's the same thing day in, day out. I don't like the people I work with. It's a toxic environment. Everywhere's a toxic environment. Do you know what? I think working with a lot of black people is difficult. Being in an environment where there's a lot of black women is very difficult, and there's always a lot of nonsense. So I really don't like it. So
what's next for you then? What would you want to do?
I have been looking at other job roles, but I don't know where or what to do right now. I feel like I'm in a space where I just don't know what I'm doing. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Well, but in terms of socials, you got an angle that you want to go for. Do you want to do presenting one day? Do you want to do shows? What is it?
Do you know, a lot of people have been asking me, a lot of people have come to me and said, oh, Annie, you need to do something now at this time because you're all over social media, like you're in the algorithms or whatever it's called. Like, now's the time you need to set up some people have said set up a YouTube, and I'm like, well, what would I do? Like, do you know what I mean? Like, you know, I was on all these shows that known for being on RTM and stuff, and now I'm known for being that woman on TikTok that everyone comes to the live to watch any argument or mix up going on or whatever. Like, what would I actually do? Like, I don't actually know what I would do. And like I said,
I could give you some advice if you don't mind.
yeah.
So you spoken about your own self dealing with ADHD. You spoke about your child having autism. So maybe if you was to do a YouTube show on a more serious note, maybe a documentary kind of finding out about autism in the black community and how you said, remember your parents at the beginning